Present.
Commissioner Carpenter,
Present.
Commissioner Crowell. John is absent. Attorney Phelan,
Present.
Lieutenant Hubbard.
Here.
Okay, and we don't have any minutes from the last meeting, so we'll go through them. And I have 3 one-day licenses, one for Center Board for April 12th.
Make a motion, we approve all 3 licenses. Any problem?
Okay, and will we charge just the one? One for Celebration.
So moved.
All in favor? Aye. We have a transfer of license. Anybody here? Okay.
Lo's here, as you well know. Basim is on
I
his
think we're
way.
almost done.
So I spoke to Basim, he's at the store, he's on his way,
Oh.
he should be here in a few minutes, I obviously want to see him, so I said we would wait till he got here.
All right.
Put him on, so-
No problem, our agenda's very short, so we'll put that on hold for a moment. Okay, then we have a conference with Phoenix. You may as well stay here. All right, and this is just regarding us,
There's a report of 2 videos that were on YouTube.
right,
One we could sort of track backwards, but we think it happened, if you look at the report, it says it doesn't know the time of it.
Yeah.
When. But I've talked with Jay, and he believes that the first report, which the 2 rappers or whatever, was in 2012. Why does he recollect that? Because he got a call from the guys that were working. That particular night, he was working 3 to 7, he was gonna come and close the club. So he says it happened around 10:57, before we get out of work, they called and said, hey, there's this problem going on. He said, we'll go out there and do whatever. But by the time he got there, they were gone. All right. So that one we think was in 2012. The second one, we really don't have a clear date, other than he does confirm that he thinks in 2013 that performer, Mozart, whatever his name is, was in fact there. That one, I think, I'm going to let him speak to, because I questioned him about, do the performers, what's the story with performers? I thought they had to buy their own alcohol.
Basically, they get there early, and they would, like, if they bought a bottle of alcohol, they would keep the bottle at the bar. It would be a girl that's supposed to go to the bar, pour the drink. She would be responsible for keeping that bottle, 1 drink at a time, returning it to the bar. Now, obviously, I'm honestly saying, I believe this girl wasn't paying attention. She doesn't work for the company anymore, because I've sort of weeded out everybody who does deal with the bottle service or whatever.
So you're saying you don't allow them to bring in their own bottles anymore?
They
No,
weren't allowed
they
to
have to pay.
I've never allowed them to bring in their own bottles. If I see them come from the outside with a bottle, take it home, I won't let you perform. Forget you, you're not worth it.
I think technically, they become employees of the club, technically not supposed to drink at all. But with that being said,
I agree.
these reports are dated, they're all at the conference. I think you just have to be aware of what happened,
Oh, yeah, I'm totally.
and if things like this happen again, you become aware of it, you have to call.
Well, I got a list of all 3 new bartenders, all tips trained, certified, whatever. He's essentially fired most of the staff.
And I'm
Starting
just-
over.
I just want to make sure, you understand that.
Well, I didn't, I share your, that's why the one that I was concerned is, what do you do about performers and drinks? And that's what he told me they do.
Yeah. Well, it's almost more concerning with the fight, but obviously,
Right.
we don't know the date or time, I don't think.
No, not really, no.
But obviously, there was a fight out there.
Well, it's like I said,
A reasonable person would draw the conclusion that it was probably at
Right.
closing time, so.
Every time I've ever had a problem with a fight in there or whatever, you'd see, I'm the only one mentioned in those reports because I'm the only one there in the middle of it. And it's like, if there was like argument on the floor or whatever, the security normally, they would call me or whatever, if I have the job, whatever, I'm like, well, get them out the door as quietly as possible. Call the police.
And I don't
But
know
we
what
changed that policy quite a bit to where I have an issue with the security staff, where I keep
That's
hiring
the other
guys.
thing that we talked about. I
hire new guys, they're supposed to do their job. If they don't do their jobs, I get them out of there as soon as
Yeah.
possible.
I'm
I
learning
wind up doing
from
it
Jay. I
myself.
said, what about the companies? And he says, well, you hire a company, they send their best guys for the first week.
Yeah.
So he said, this is great. And the next week, they don't send the same guys they sent the first week, they send them somewhere else. So I talked to him about trying to find people he's worked with in the past that he's got confidence in. He told me he has one guy that he's been working with. Because that's very critical.
We're all more comfortable now that you're taking, assume control. I don't know if Lieutenant.
No, I've been dealing with Jay for a long time. He does a good job. I think the biggest thing with this conference is, you haven't really been busy, but when you do get busy again,
Be
we
prepared
want
for
to be
it.
careful for that kind of thing. And we don't want that kind of behavior going on outside the bar. If it's a
And
problem-
talk with your patrons too, because I know you have a rapport with your patrons, so, let them know, they're hurting you when they do things like this.
Well,
when
I
they
sort of run
fail.
out every one of the knuckleheads, and I'm trying to get the good people
Exactly,
back.
yep.
And it,
I'll make a motion we accept the requirement.
I'll second.
Conference.
Yep, and, all in favor? Aye. Thank you.
All right, so Jamie, let's
well, it was not people, it's the other end. Make sure they do the proper work. I'm sure it'd be hard.
Anyone here from Foul Place? Kevin? How are you? Working for. I know. Hopefully it's on the downside. Okay, so, but here was, purchasing alcohol from the package.
I'm not gonna make any excuses. I think that's right. One case of beer, it was a jam, had a problem with my delivery, it was a mistake, shouldn't have done it. And that's all I'm gonna say on it, I'm not gonna make any excuses. It's not a regular thing, so I can tell you besides that, and maybe I'm worried or not. I had a problem getting delivery that week. I was low on something, it's another big night, I made a mistake. Besides that, I'm not gonna say anything else about it because I have no wrong with doing it.
Kevin, I know we had quite a discussion for last meeting. This happened prior to that.
Right.
Is that correct?
All I can tell you is that I hope you'll take me with it, since you know how to raise it. That's all I can, I'm gonna say. I was not trying to be any taxing or anything like that. I had trouble with my delivery. I was low on one product. I had a lot of personal funds come down. I get very prideful sometimes. I didn't want to run out of anything. And I made a mistake. I didn't lie about it when I brought it in. It was me. Nothing else I can say. As I talked to you last time, I told you some of the things I'm gonna do. All my, half my staff has got the certification. Some had it already, I'm making them all redo it. I also have ID scanners now on our phones, to make sure any ID that comes through the door is correct. I told you the steps I took. For anyone there at the one, the alarm company calls me at one, and I can shut my phone, see if anybody's there. The alarm's one set, I've taken steps to address the things that you were concerned about. And that's what I've done, is have applied to that. There's so much, I knew which one I was doing. I was just in a jam with the delivery, it wasn't, it's not like I'm doing this on a regular basis or anything like that. It's just being prideful, doesn't run out, and like I said, besides that, it
So what's gonna happen if you get in the gym again?
won't happen again, believe me.
That's what I wanted.
It won't happen again, I can guarantee that. I know right now it's something, because the two cases coming through the door, I drive by it over 2 days, so I'm not gonna ever make that mistake again. I wasn't trying to be anything, just doing, or sliding by, anything like that.
You understand clearly you can only purchase so many licenses.
I knew it before I did it, to be honest, I should have done it.
Have you taken the time, I know we talked last month, I think, about reading the rules and
Yes.
familiarizing yourself.
Yes.
Is everybody tips trained or on their way to being
On there,
tips trained?
half the staff is done, the other half is done, and like I said, for the ID thing, I've got ID scanners on my cell phone, verified, anyone in the state, anywhere in the country, all 50 states are real. He also keeps a records in there, so if we do have a problem with someone, you guys have to come, I have names and addresses and all like that. I mean, I'm not, if someone's 45, I'm not scanning ID, but, I'm taking steps to make sure that I get there and I can prove all these steps, I can submit all the bullet, everything I've done. Once I get out, I'm going to get everybody's tips done, and I was going to put them all in one package and go from there. This was wrong, I knew it was wrong, I should have done it. It was wrong when I was doing it. and I'm not gonna make an excuse other than,
We appreciate your honesty. My own opinion is I think we can issue a warning to you and go forward, but as I think we said to you last month, you're attracting a lot of attention. You know that.
I don't
think you
want-
realize that, so.
I'd like to attract some positive attention, I'm trying to make them.
That's what we want you to do.
I still, to be honest with you, I don't like to be in there for at all. The guys, you know, the guys aren't gonna be able to get anything like that. Is what it is, but I'm not saying anything.
Unless the police have anything else to add, I'll make a motion, we issue a letter of warning and move forward on it.
Can I have a name of that scanning program you just said?
It's my phone, it's barandclubstats.com. And the thing of it is, it's really good about it is, well, when I was a lazy guy, I did a place like that, like 3 years ago, 4 years ago, we spent $1,500 on a machine to do it, then they updated the software, and now we get it on the phone for about $30. And it keeps track of everyone you scan, does all 50 states, and so if you have someone that has a problem, you can actually say, this is the person. There's also a function there to bar people, so they can all be uploaded to the internet and brought back down on everybody's phone, so if I bar someone on Tuesday night, same person tries to get it a week later, gets scared, it pops right up and serves. So there's a lot of really good functions on it that, and it's very reasonable, it's become real cost effective, yes, what it was 4 or 5 years ago. So, I apologize for
Okay. I'll put that in the following motion.
Violation did occur, no official.
Violation did occur, we'll issue a letter of warning.
I appreciate it very much.
All in favor? All second? No.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we have someone from Asian Gardens.
Hi,
Hi.
how are you?
are?
Alicia.
Alicia.
And that's my mother.
Okay, you were on duty? Yep.
Yeah, I was on video.
Okay. Uh-huh.
So basically what happened was there was a concert night, I forget which concert it was, I mean, usually when concert night, get really busy right across the city. But we make sure that, nobody walks out with open bottle, with open, glass, or anything like that. Not sure how that happened, I'm not sure where he got the bottle from, but either way, moving forward, we're gonna hire more staff, we're gonna move concert nights. And then we're putting in a camera system where, we can see who comes in, comes out at all times. I think that'll help a lot more. And just to make sure, be on top of everything, just to make sure that, no one walks out with a doing something like that.
Lieutenant, the rules.
Yes, it's not
Did bad luck, that you
Yeah,
won't buy, or-
it's exactly that, I was trying to buy, being relatively new to being honest down there, you
Yeah.
wanna make sure that you have control of the bar.
Yep.
I mean, if those people that are in there from the concert, it's too much, you have to add staff and do whatever's
Yep.
necessary during. But there are a lot of people, and if they're allowed to walk freely,
That they should
it's a
not,
problem.
so, yeah.
It's a problem, right?
They
It's
should not
also
be doing
a
that, so.
high scrutiny that's on right there.
Exactly. We understand that, and moving forward, we have a camera system, more people on staff.
Do you have someone on the door usually when there's a
Well,
crowd, or?
usually no, but from now on with the concert, then we will hire someone. But normally on weekends, it gets busy, but it doesn't get like overcrowded or anything like that, it doesn't take capacity or anything like that.
Yeah.
But definitely with concert night, we have one coming up next Friday, this coming Friday, we'll make sure that people there, and EBQ's coming up as well, so.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Please, because I know it's, you're new to business and you've done a good job there.
yeah.
It may seem like a small thing, but it's not a small thing.
Yeah, I understand, yeah,
We'll put
yeah.
that with us.
Yeah,
Can't have that happen.
yep, I understand.
But I'll make a motion, we show letter of warning, also move forward on that, just please be careful.
Yep, okay, thank you.
I'll second it. All in favor? Aye.
Thank you.
We have Linway Liquor. All right, okay. Okay, we're here because of, gambling, football squares.
Yes. It was, I mean, our intention is certainly not to have the gambling, the illegal gambling operation at Linwood Liquors. It's really been a employee internal thing only, and unfortunately, we put it up in public view, and it was the wrong thing to do. Going forward, we make sure that it doesn't involve anybody but employees.
Maybe you should not say that, because it's still illegal.
Yeah.
I mean, internally, I mean,
Yeah.
It is.
It shouldn't even involve
Because-
employees.
I get it, all right, so we won't
I
involve.
mean, I think, I'm only guessing, but there's no question it's a common practice, but for some reason, you attracted attention here, right?
Right.
It's usually what triggers.
Well,
Because you
it's
posted
a
it.
very,
You
yeah, we posted it.
That was plain.
I mean, it's customers asking to be part of it. I mean, so honestly, you're right. So it's sitting there like that screen right there. So I mean, flat out, you're right about that. So, you know, so we,
Always a dicey thing.
it is. So, you know, it wasn't the right thing to do, and we just make a habit of not doing that in the future. Okay?
I think that's a better way
Thank
to put
you.
it.
That's a-
Okay, I'm sorry about that.
It really actually goes to what kind of, you know, rules and regulations you think you have to abide by in the city. I mean, this unit is active and we don't bother people, and we're not gonna, you know, pick on you because of this, but, you know, that's a total disrespect to the gambling. You're licensed by this board. You could face loss of the ability to sell alcohol down there. It's
Right.
clearly against ABCC rules as well. So, I mean, just to make sure we're not minimizing this. This is
No, I
us taking it
understand
very
that.
seriously.
I
Whether it was
do
in
have
the
a
back
question, though.
room or whether it was in the front room, had my officers come in and known about it, we would have taken the same action.
I get that.
Or more.
I have a question, just a general question. My father used to own a couple of restaurants in the city. And I used to see the squares up behind the bar all the time. So my question to you is, and I'm just putting this out there, is that illegal as well?
It certainly
It
is.
is.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Okay, so,
Because you have such, you know, a history, and you really, one of the, you know, you come from this, you know this more than most people do. It's even more surprising. That, to me,
no, I
frankly,
understand,
I
it's
mean,
just,
you're the expert.
yeah, I know, I'm the
You know?
expert, the professional,
And
I'm the
we-
guy that, you know, should be setting the example
There's
and not the,
enforcement throughout
you
the
know,
city,
I get
at
that.
all levels. And if you want to call my office anytime and tell me that there's something up behind the bar, you're welcome to do that.
Okay, absolutely. You know, I apologize. I really, you know, will make sure that it doesn't happen again.
I think that what everybody's trying to say is, there's no doubt in any of our minds it's a
Right.
common practice, but it is completely illegal.
Okay,
So they started to say in the first place, for some reason you attracted attention, and that's
Right,
when people
I did.
usually get into trouble. I don't know why, I don't even want to begin to speculate.
it's fine.
It's usually because somebody complains along the line
Right.
someplace,
No,
something
I-
like that.
Well,
So you
let's,
have to be totally
let's
aware.
keep it straight, let's keep it factual here. The reason why he is before us is because he flaunted it, it was posted.
Correct.
Nobody dropped a dime or anything, he flaunted it, and that was the big mistake.
And it just won't happen. And we'll try to continue to be a model in the, you know, in the community. And we try not to let you down again. Okay?
I'll make a motion, we issue a letter of warning, and this also, and go forward with that.
So a violation has been found, and we will issue a letter of warning. This-
Thank you.
Okay, aye. Okay. All right. Good.
Venus
Hi,
Market.
me and his mom.
Yes.
Right.
This is for seeing this here. He's operated Venus Market since 1996. We were before the city council February 11th, I believe. And prior to that, Councilor Seer had a neighborhood meeting, I think even before we applied.
Yeah.
And Basim was there. And if you're familiar with this area, certainly you are as a former ward councilor there. For many years, there was a package store diagonally across the street from Basim's Market, called Paul's Package Store. And they closed. Basim opened Nina's Market. Has run a real good operation. Earned the confidence of Council Seer, and obviously he's been a good neighbor because the neighbors were supportive. We went before the city council and asked for permission. They granted that permission on February 11th, and now we're here to ask the local board to approve the sale of beer and wine at Nina's Market. This license is the lost tribe of Israel. It's been, we've tried many, many locations, and in the interest of getting it approved, I was very deliberate in dealing with the council, dealing with Council Sia, dealing with Bo and Basine. The only renovation I think that he was educating me about is that he has to buy a cooler, and these things cost more than I thought to put the beer in, okay? And then he'll have the inventory start up. And hopefully, after, if you approve it, it'll go to the ABCC, and then Bo can go back to her desired avocation, not vocation, and we can end the chapter. It's been a long time coming.
Any questions?
No, I think it's great. I just had maybe a question for Attorney Phelan. This went before the city council. Is there a reason this did and not some of the others that we've been dealing with?
As I said.
I think he just did it the right way.
That's your characterization. I said I wanted to be certain that there was no, I met with Councilor Seal, all right? And I sort of gave him his choice. I said, I will tell you what my belief is, but if you tell me that, and I also think, are you so prepared for this? Sandwiches? Yeah, so I knew what your view was. So knowing that, but I said to Councilor Seal, you know, I'll do whatever you say. He said, first I want to have a neighborhood meeting, and then second, depending on what the neighborhood meeting says, he said, I don't really have a problem, but I have to represent the neighbors. If there's no problem with the neighbors, then, because I obviously would prefer not to have to go and do an extra step. I did it because he asked to do it, and it was unanimously approved. Nobody opposed it at the city council.
I'll make a motion we approve the transfer of the license.
I'll second it. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Oh, we'll miss you.
I'll buy something.
Yeah, exactly right. She said to me, she asked me, do you know if there's another business or store?
Good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, and then communications, I do think we have to take a look at this. Did you get a copy? So which deal?
Yes, I do have it.
Attorney Phelan, how do you think we should proceed on this? Because I don't feel comfortable selling alcohol if they're locking out the manager on record. That doesn't seem to make
Well, I mean, there are a couple things. He's done the proper thing in notifying us as to what's happened here, so that he hasn't broken the rules. However, it's not the approved person at that point in time, and so there's technically there should be a transfer or an application for a new license that comes in front of us. And so, I'm not sure if he's trying to say that he wants to turn it in or not.
I didn't hear that he was saying he wanted to turn in the license. I'm interpreting this as his saying that he doesn't feel they should be selling alcohol under his name.
Right.
And
It's under his name,
right.
so are we taking this as a constructive, legally, physically, he really can't go and turn it in, but is he constructively turning it in by giving notice to us because it's under his name? I think that's the question here.
Was it the manager or the business owner who sent us this?
He's part owner, and he's
Also
listed
the
as
manager?
manager.
He's moved on, so is another.
No, he's been locked out.
Right. So physically, he can't actually take his license and bring it to us.
Right.
So I would say that this is a constructive turning in of the license at this time, and that we should send out a notice saying that the license has been turned in. Because physically, de facto, that's what he's doing. He's telling us right now that he's turning in the license because he no longer is in the business for it. Whatever he does legally, that's a different story, but right now I believe he's actually, because physically he can't go there, he's
Well,
been
he
locked
is
up.
stating that he does not wish to have any liquor sales continue under his name as manager.
It's true.
He is,
So-
right.
So if he wanted to sell that license,
That's gonna be his choice legally as to how he
And
wants
I
to
believe
proceed.
that liquor sales should be halted under that license until this dispute is resolved.
So temporarily, he's indicating to us that he is ceasing using this for this period of time, as opposed to turning it in, I think technically this gives him some options. So he'd be turning it in, and I think we can send out notice, and you guys can let them know tonight.
He effectively has no control of this license anymore, is that right?
Right.
So the people maybe should have to come in and turn their license into us.
Exactly. But they should have to stop serving alcohol
I would say tonight.
right now.
As soon as you can drive.
It's right down there.
I think that's what
I mean,
we should do.
I was like a potty bat. What place? Which still holds.
I mean, they can make it whatever arrangements at that point in time.
Should we confiscate the alcohol?
I do believe it needs to be locked.
Or at least covered up, right?
Yes.
Sunday.
So that we need a motion from this board for me,
To accept.
saying that we're accepting the voluntary surrender of the license.
Temporary surrender.
Temporary surrender.
Surrender of
Sounds
the
good.
license.
Yeah, I believe he's required to do it under our rules. If you stop serving or change your hours, then they're supposed to let us know. And that's technically what he's done here.
Right.
But they're still actively in business tonight.
They're in business for everything else.
Everything except for the alcohol.
Right.
But they're probably actively selling alcohol right now. I would assume.
Right now.
Yeah, so they work their. But you think we're on secure footing to have them go up and take that license?
He's not, yes, he's giving
We
us
make a
this.
motion that we'll
Yes.
accept the temporary surrender of this license.
I mean, they can attempt to take us to court or try to settle it and sell it or make, transfer that way, but
For our purposes, that's the correct remedy tonight.
absolutely give this communication.
So I'll make that motion to accept the temporary surrender of the license and request the police officer to go up to the premises tonight and inform them he has to close. I don't think we have to slam the door on him tonight, but
Stop serving
Notice to
alcohol.
stop serving.
the end of business tonight and tonight.
Take the license.
I mean, if you're comfortable, and you can, he's got to close the.
On the application, he's the manager and
Yes.
part owner?
Yep.
Comfortable with that?
Set up a little.
I'll second it. All in favor? Aye. Okay. And then we have a number of police reports that we can go through quickly.
Yes. Mama Blanca's is the first going in order. The officers and detective of SIU here driving by, and they noticed somebody urinating on the side of the wall.
So just accept for the files that are
Is that what it was?
Yep. Randy Barrow?
The second one is Brandy Barrel. This was an overdose, and we've had, this is a second one coming in.
Yeah.
It was two. The second one, we're not sure if they were actually in it, but this gentleman, the person who overdosed in the Brandy Barrel, was actually in the men's room, was being assisted by the bartender and/or somebody who works there after they were being treated. I question whether I know people come in and out of these places. They'll come in Dunkin' Donuts or any business in our police station. I mean, anywhere they can. But you have to really be actively watching them. And as long as they know that the people are not coming in from the street using their business to shoot up drugs, it's in fact what that was.
Well, there's 3 here for Brandy Barrow for OD heroin, OD.
Two incidents.
Yeah,
Two incidents.
it's 2 incidents, but the detectives wrote a report on the initial report, so,
Maybe just bring them in for a conference, just to give them a heads up.
as long as they know what's going on in there, they're able to stand and tell us that.
Okay. Bring them in for a conference. Tony's Bud, last name.
Tony's was a larceny, busy night, girl gets her phone taken or not, but it ends up going outside, and then there's an assault, whether it's boyfriend, girlfriend, or just an acquaintance. There's an assault there. I know sometimes it's hard to control everybody's actions in the club, but as long as they're not over-serving,
Right.
don't get drunk, that's.
For the files that are behind it. All right, 47 Central. South
47
Bay.
Central was an A and B. Parties left right at closing, may or may not have said something to somebody who didn't like what they said, and then they would have solved it. I think that's, I talked to George down there, and I spoke with a couple other people. I did speak with the victim who wants me to continue and find out who this person punched him. Yes. That was that.
Violence for us.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see what they really could have done. He actually said he gave the guy a ride home and everything.
Okay. And we have China Bowl.
China Bowl, we took the China Bowl.
Yeah, okay. Well,
We have a bunch for the China Bowl. Yeah, I would expect the China Bowl is gonna have to answer for some of these. Just find those bullets.
Ted, what's the story with Dimes?
What?
Time's closed, renovations, what are they doing?
Yeah, they're doing renovations. Andrea,
Yeah.
Nugent bought it.
I didn't realize this.
They actually probably notified us.
Yeah.
No one told us.
Lock that down.
What, did you have to go to the redemption centers?
No, we did compliance check here.
Compliance checks today.
Utter failure, an utter failure by the licensed establishments in the city, again.
And,
Like, China Ball's got, I think, 3 incidents, at least 2 here, and a new one that came in. This first one was for a fight, I think, a disturbance at the, at closing, and the officers had to respond there. There was a bunch of people out front. There were, you know, it looked like there had been something, but the people were dispersing. The bartender may have had a problem controlling the crowd, and the officers basically told her, you know, you shouldn't be selling any more alcohol, you should be done. Make sure everybody's out of here. That was on the 7th of March. I have 4 wins next in order, unless you want me to. I can just, off the top of my head,
Let's just
China
do China
Bowl,
Bowl, yeah.
I just don't have right in front of
Yeah.
me, they're out of order.
Mhm.
There was most recently coming into the China Bowl was a customer that was in there. She was unruly.
Yeah.
She was clearly intoxicated.
That's good. Mhm.
She assaulted 2 counts, the officers charged her 2 counts of A and B on a PO, obviously disorderly, resisting. This leads to question whether there were certain customers in there. And I do think there was a PC, unless that came up last month, that Donald Knox, again, just an intoxicated person, highly intoxicated, had to be placed in the cell for the afternoon or the early evening, said he was drinking at China Bowl. Those are the 3 most recent.
Here we
Here.
here we are, I think.
Okay. We can get all of these reports together too. Good job. All right, 4 wins?
Yeah, the 4 Winds actually wasn't assault. It was one of those girlfriend and new girlfriend at closing. Didn't happen inside the place, but it happened. You know, people were clearly coming out of there, and there was an assault. Girl got cut. She had assaulted, but the laceration was to her head or face or whatever.
And they called?
I do think they called, yeah. The officers responded there. The guy's been really cooperative. I know he's not a problem, but we, I think, had one a month or 2 ago where we had an incident similar. A lot of time the officers got there, it was unfounded.
Right.
So we want to make sure we pay a little bit of attention. They know that, you know, they got to keep a handle on things. I mean, I reckon that one could be filed. I don't see anything blatantly for violations.
Except for the foul. And foul play, he got a warrant, so.
You got a warrant, but he's really just got to,
Yeah.
I mean, he's just got to make sure he's out doing.
You gotta pay
Well, there's
attention.
some other
Yeah.
issues with him.
He does have some other issues. I don't know where they're going exactly right now. I mean, certainly don't think they're going to charge it now.
Nothing at this point. Yeah,
Except for foul.
right.
It's not related, but
For our FYI.
he always says the right thing.
It doesn't belong.
Right, he always apologizes, so why wouldn't you believe him?
I thought Tommy Boyd spoke for him.
He did.
Recently.
But does this say he was
Basically, he was,
trying to open the lid?
Yeah, he broke into the lazy dog.
broke into the lazy dog, pried the safe open, saw him, identified him on the surveillance, but didn't want to press charges.
Yeah, that's what I'm surprised. I don't know about this.
I would say he does.
He identified
He
him.
identified him from the video. He didn't want
He
to press
wasn't
charges.
sure what he wanted
This
to
is
do.
after we gave him the Lewis Street license, I think it is.
This is just very recently.
Yeah. That's what.
Yeah, I have this. I mean, if somebody wants, if you want, just, you can keep this, you can retain this. And we can, if something comes out of it, I'll bring it back before the board.
Do you want me to put it in this file?
We should
But
probably
he
keep
Just
it top
take
five.
that, just take that top one off, you can have the
Was he
report.
charged for that?
No, not yet. What do you want to take off?
Tom doesn't, the top half.
I'm not, I didn't investigate it, it just showed up in our crime bulletin, and I know of it, I can find out.
Says the report that Bill didn't want to.
Yeah, it's sitting at
Bill didn't want to press charges.
Didn't want to press
Motion
charges.
adjourned?
No, okay, and now let's move right along, new business, we have vote for approval of seasonal license for the Navigators.
So moved.
in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And old business? Nah. Rules and regulations, they're gonna be translated into
I've got
Khmer
one
and
set
Spanish?
being transferred into Khmer. I'm trying to find a Spanish translator, which is gonna be out. I'll probably call Girls Inc. this
Okay.
week and see if they can do it.
Ross can take care
If
of
not, let's get in touch with Francis too.
So you
Let's
guys translate?
get in touch with Francis too.
I do have one more report that didn't get read in.
Okay.
Friends, it was on the 20th.
Oh, I'm sorry,
It was the
yes.
it was the last one, it was one of the last ones
Oh, you
sent
know,
in.
it's not down here. Okay, yes.
Um,
The
it was
new
on the
one,
new
yes.
stuff
My
that you gave us.
fault.
There was an incident in France where two females got into a fight right after the bar closed.
Right.
It happened outside, it's just an incident that happened. I can't say that they were highly intoxicated, I can't look at any violations per se from this report, but they were coming out of there and an incident for them to know about.
Did they call?
Yes, I
Okay.
believe they did.
All right, then we'll accept for the file. Thanks. All in favor? Aye. And
Motion
as
adjourned?
always, always in order.